All right, today we'll be adjusting valves on a Yamaha TTR50, and these are very easy valve adjustment. Just going to do this quick here for you. You need a flat screwdriver, and you want a fairly large one, and you'll want to pull these two caps here that are right above your shifter and your foot peg. So go ahead and pull these caps off, and they'll have O-rings on there, so make sure those O-rings come out with the caps, or at least you know where they are going back together. Next thing, you'll find top dead center. Now you take a ratchet and a socket there, put it on your, this would be your flywheel bolt there, and spin this until you get to top dead center. You're going to turn it counterclockwise, so spin it left, and there'll be 3 lines on your flywheel. And so you'll see in your inspection hole right here that you'll have 3 lines, and you want to go to the middle one, and you'll be on top dead center. Now you can be top dead center but be on the wrong stroke, so you want to make sure then pull your valve caps or your valve adjust caps over here, and if your valves are tight or if your valves are being pushed down, then you're not on the right stroke. You want to make sure you go 1 full turn around again. Your valves will be loose, or your lobes will be in the position that your valves are the loosest. So once we find top dead center there, we'll take and we'll remove the valve adjustment caps, which there's one on top here. The top one is intake, and the bottom one is exhaust here, which is right above the exhaust. Now we have your valve specs here, and for a TTR50, for your intake, it's 0.05 millimeters to 0.09, and that's for the intake, and then 0.08 to 0.12 millimeters for exhaust. And so what I like to do is find something in the center, grab your feeler gauges, and for the exhaust, since you guys will be able to see that one the best, we'll go to 0.0, let's see, we'll go to let me find the right one here. 0.10 here millimeters. So in standard, it'd be 0.004. It'd be hard to see there, but okay, what you're gonna do is then stick it in between, and I'll see if I can put this camera in a spot where you can see. Put it in between the valve adjust cap and the actual valve itself. And you can move it up and down there. You wanna be able to slide it in between there, but you don't want it too tight, you don't want it too loose. A good check then is to grab one size bigger feeler gauge and see if it slides in there. If it slides in there and it's too tight, then you're probably gonna be okay. If it doesn't slide in at all, that's probably all right as well, because you've got a little bit of clearance on either side. So that is how you do the exhaust. You do the intake the exact same way. Now if you need to adjust it, so let's say these are where they need to be. Grab an 8mm wrench, loosen the lock nut. Okay, if you need to adjust it out slightly, use your fingers, or you can use pliers. Put it in behind there, and then what I like to do then is take and kind of turn that adjusting screw back down onto the feeler gauge until you get it to a position that you like. So tighten up a little bit more. There we go. We've got some drag there. Now I like to leave the feeler gauge in there. That kind of holds that adjustment from tightening down, but it could tighten down as well. So you want to watch that adjustment screw to see if it does tighten up, and then you got your feeler gauge in there. You can feel it after you finish tightening that lock nut. Make sure that lock nut is good and tight. It has a tendency to work itself loose, and if you feel like that's good for tension on your feeler gauge, then your exhaust valve is ready to go. Again, do the same thing for the intake, and we take and put these caps back on. What I do a lot of times then, after I adjust the valves, a lot of times I'll take and spin the crank around another time or two, find top dead center, and recheck them. And not a big need for that if you feel like you've got it in the right spot, but you never want your valves way out of adjustment. If you adjust your valves on the wrong stroke, you could potentially have some damage. So that's why I do that. Turn it over, just kind of double checking everything that I do. So that is adjusting the valves on a TTR50.